show that can match it. Hard to name another show that can match it. Everybody from classy to ratchet. Heat fans like Jamal keep the flame alive. Dennis Lee got the lake show locked in 5 to Dub K to Augusta GA. Talk everything from NBA to anime. Chat like homies or debate like enemies. It's all fun and games, just match my energy. Just match my energy. Just match my energy. Yeah.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, episode 36 of the Match My Energy podcast. It's your boy, Dennis Lee, aka DINO Fit Dennis.
Hey, it's your boy, JC Too Blessed, also known as Jamal Caleb. We have a special guest, Naay. We're going to go into how we met, met at SneakerCon Phoenix and everything. She's going to go to her brand and everything like that. But before we kick off everything, we always want to talk about how everybody week been. So, Dennis, how was your week been this week?
A lot going on, man. A lot of moving parts. Yeah, man. My sister, basically, y'all know the one I talk about all the time. That's like my twin. I mean, we're like 2 years apart, but we was raised like twins. She has had a son. She just had a son like 2 days ago.
Okay, congrats.
Oh, congratulations, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Man. Little D Air Raheem. So, I'm happy to see him. So it's my first, I hate saying it like this, but it's my first nephew that's my blood, I guess. Because I got a lot of step siblings and stuff like that. But yeah, it felt pretty good, seeing him. He's healthy. They ended up having to do C-section and all that, but he ended up knocking that out. She's doing good. She'll get out the hospital tomorrow. But yeah, that, and then literally I'm still riding the high of that. And then yesterday, I get a call from my friend. She's working at Cabela's, and she was like, hey, she called. I didn't answer at first. And then she texted me, was like, hey, call me. I got something for you. And I was like, whatever. So I just call her back, whatever, she was like, hey, would you mind, would you be okay if Matt Rife wanted to work out in your gym? And I was like, the dude from Wildin' Out.
Right, that's dope.
The comedian
dude? Yeah. I was like,
what?
Okay, I guess. Yeah, man. Send him my info right now. Yeah, do that.
Exactly.
So yeah, got in touch with his bodyguard, and they came, worked out for an hour and a half. It's funny because the show started at 7, and of course they wouldn't know, the people who actually went to the show. He was still working out at he was finishing up by 7:10. I'm like,
you gotta go.
Don't you gotta go?
That's how they be doing it, man. They be BSing around, man. They don't be.
Yeah, dude.
But I guess it's because you got openers and stuff like that, so he's got a little time. And I guess Jamal, here in Wichita, it take you about 10, 15 minutes to get anywhere. So
I don't know. When I go to a concert or any type of show, I want y'all to be in the back. I don't care. You got to be in the arena. I'm sorry.
You don't know, but you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, but next thing you know, we listen to the opener for an hour and a half.
True. He's like, more jokes, So yeah, no, that was cool. But yeah, just building up the gym, getting more clients. Yeah, man, it's been a good time. But man, how about y'all? How y'all week's been? For you, Jamal?
Yeah, this week, back to work, so there's a lot going on. My boss is on paternity leave, so I'm running as manager this 6 weeks. So it's been rough, man. A lot of meetings that I usually don't be a part of. It's good to get that insight and everything, but I went from 2 meetings a day to 7, 8. I'm like, I still got my own position, own job I got to work on too now. So that's been rough. For you that don't know, Naay, I work in IT, so I was on a data analytics team. So it's a lot of that type of work. And that's about it, man. And then also looking at some NBA preseason stuff. We big on NBA, so I was like,
you seen Curry's last that buzzer beater by Curry?
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of saw. I don't like the words. We're gonna talk a little bit NBA if you want to get into it.
Okay, yeah, we can get into it.
Yeah. But yeah, I am a fan of the Warriors, but I was just trying to keep up because our next episode we're gonna be talking about the preseason. Our preseason and who we predict gonna win the East or West, rookies of the year, that type of stuff. So I was kind of
Mhm.
scouting what I'm gonna say for the next episode, stuff like that. So that's pretty much it, man. Heading to Charlotte tomorrow, about to sell some shoes and stuff like that. That's like a
Oh, you got
two and a
another
half.
event?
Not an event, just it's a shop out there. They said they
Uh-huh.
have a shoe that I can get if I trade some of these shoes, so or sell some of
Oh,
them. So
okay.
I told them I'll take that 2.5, 3 hour drive, do a little weekend trip out there, and see what's going on. So that's about it
That's
for me,
dope.
man. How about you?
My week it was pretty smooth. I mean, the worst thing that happened is, car problems. My AC went out. It's 102
Oh
degrees
man.
outside.
Oh man.
So
Hey,
I had some car troubles, them come at the worst times when you least expect it. But other than that, it was a pretty good week. I've been getting ready for my drop coming up. I have my first look tomorrow actually, and I'm dropping the release date as well. I got some dope new teas coming, and also been doing real well with the stock market, trading the options and things like that. So it's been a real good week. Aside from the car problems, but I've been blessed. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get to mention, but okay, so we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna talk about how we met and everything at SneakerCon. It's crazy because we all at different places right now. Like Nay is in Phoenix,
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
yeah,
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Okay.
Dennis in the Midwest and Kansas, and I'm
Oh
in
wait,
Georgia right now. So
okay, Kansas. I'm Midwest bred.
Where you from?
Illinois.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
See. Yeah, my uncle used to live in East St. Louis, well, Belleville, Illinois. So
Oh yeah. I got a lot of family in St. Louis area.
okay.
but yeah, back
So,
to the SneakerCon. I'll talk just a little bit like why I went there, and then just kind of go into how we met everything. So I actually won a sweepstakes with Rejuvenator. I don't know if you know that brand out there. With the sneaker cleaning, they had a booth and everything at SneakerCon.
Yeah, I saw them.
I won their sweepstakes, and they actually did a custom shoe of mine, and then also flew me out there to Phoenix, and also
Oh.
had me participate in the SneakerCon. It's gonna be a whole story about that, so you gotta wait for that episode. I gotta go through the whole recap of all that. It's a
Yeah, I need
whole
to hear
bunch.
about that because that shoe was hard. I liked it.
that was
Yeah,
super hard.
the
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah, that
I'm
shoe
talking
was
about the
hard.
shopping, bro. Like it's crazy, and then get to experience Phoenix for first time and everything. So yeah, there's a whole video going out. I might have them do for that one, but yeah, that was the first time going to SneakerCon. So they was like, yeah, just walk around, and then next thing you know, they was like also said you can follow. They're gonna follow me around with the camera, trying to get my interactions. But before that, I kind of did a whole lap like twice in Phoenix SneakerCon, and I ran into Nay and her brand Broken Baby Apparel.
Okay.
Listen to their story. I think her mom was the one who actually reached out to me, kind of grabbed me from the. I was walking. She was like, "Hey, do you mind?" I was like, "Yeah, I can see your story. Let's see your story and everything like that." I don't remember the whole spiel, so you have to give that again for me. But
Yeah.
I did pick up. I picked up 2 hats. I think y'all did like a buy one get one.
Yeah,
And
buy
a
one get one
shirt.
free.
I would have rocked it. I'm not gonna lie, I would have rocked it. They still shipping my stuff back out to me that I bought from there. So, because I couldn't carry everything back on. So, like all the shoes, all the custom stuff, all that I bought, all that stuff is still there in Phoenix. They're gonna ship it all back, hopefully soon. But yeah, I had
And
like
hopefully
the
soon.
Yeah,
I'm
that's dope
saying,
that they do that.
I'm
Like
like,
you can buy whatever you want, just ship it home.
no, at first,
Yeah.
at first I had the bag and it was like, how you gonna bring it back? I was like, can y'all not ship it for me? And they was like, yeah. Because at first I was like, I was gonna go to UPS store. If they said, we ain't covering that cost for you, bro. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna go to UPS, shop it, ship it that way. Because there's no way. I got all this stuff. Some of these shoes got the boxes that I want to keep and stuff like that. So there's no way I can carry it on the plane and all that kind of stuff. So plus I didn't want to worry about, insurance, all that kind of stuff. But so yeah, they shipping it back, but it's been 2 weeks, so I'm trying to kind of being impatient. But
yeah, I'd be impatient. You said you was shipping it. Where's my at least my tracking
where's
number?
that?
yeah, I don't think because
that too.
even on the custom shoe, he said he had to do a little something else added. So he's waiting to do that piece, and then he's gonna ship everything together. So I was like, well, y'all can ship.
Okay.
You can ship a portion of some stuff, So
Right, ship, do little 2 packages.
At least my shoes. At least my
exactly.
At least.
I said, because some of that stuff, I mean, I did do a shopping spree with them and all that kind of stuff, but he also some stuff that I bought my own money. I said, that's the type of stuff I need to, go ahead and ship that out.
I need to get that.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, ship that out.
I bought that. I paid for that. Good money.
Exactly. But yeah, Naay, yeah. So we met at SneakerCon. Was that your first SneakerCon? Or what was are you really into shoes, or what's your
I'm a big sneakerhead. I have a lot of shoes. I have like a whole tower. I call it the Tower of Terror. And it's like I got a bunch of those little plastic boxes with the doors, and it's like I got like I don't know what I have them stacked at now, but it was like 4 by 20 at one point, trying to stack them, and it's like they finna tip over. I can't do it, so I stacked them low. But I've always wanted to go to a sneaker con. Actually, as a kid, I wanted to go to, mainly just to look and see if I could buy something, because the resale market has always been high. And living up north, they had them in like Chicago. So the one time they came, we couldn't afford it. Living with a single mother, things are harder and tighter sometimes, and we couldn't afford to go. So I always had made it a goal, especially when I started the brand. I said, I'm not going unless I can be a vendor. So when I moved to Florida in 2021, I actually linked up with the sneaker convention company. They do, shows in Tampa, Orlando, Miami, and they also do some in like Vegas, Utah, Atlanta. So I did like 6 events with them, and then I actually linked up with Got Sold too, and that's actually when I got my merchandise on Rich the Kid and chopped it up with him for a little bit, and that was kind of like a beginning to doing more events. And then I moved out here in January, and I seen SneakerCon was coming out here, and I seen they were coming to Los Angeles. I couldn't get to the Los Angeles one just because my car situation isn't, where I like it right now. So I didn't want to try that. But as soon as I seen it coming to Phoenix, I said, I'm doing it. I don't care how much it costs. So I was like, I'm getting in there, and I actually got a way better turnout than I thought. Like, I know my clothing sells, especially when I am able to engage with people and talk about my story, the meaning behind it. But even then, it did 10 times more than what I thought it was gonna do. And I enjoyed that whole day. Like, I wish there was another one right after it. Like, it was crazy. It was real crazy. I got a lot of love and a lot of support, and I touched some hearts.
That's what I was trying to tell them that when they flew me out, they was like, "It's your first SneakerCon, but you in Georgia. Why you didn't go to the Atlanta one?" And I was like, people just don't understand how, like, I walked in with them as a vendor, so I skipped the line. But Atlanta wait line is like at least an hour and a half, 2 hours to just get in, and it's like wrapped around the building downtown. I was like, see, it ain't worth it to me, because also what people don't understand, like, with the resale is also hot inside the SneakerCon, so it's not just like, you can trade some shoes, you might break some shoes in and everything like that, but people come in, big balling, they might go and sweep the whole table. Some people just come just look, some people just come for the experience. And I'm like, I just don't. For me, I'm like, if I find something in my price range, then I might pick it up. But I just couldn't wait that 2 hours just because. And then I'm also driving 2.5 hours to get there as well. So it's not like I'm in the city. I just walk down. So they was like, I was like, y'all are vendors. It's a little bit easier when you just bouncing between different cities and be able to just walk straight in. But when you just a guest, like just a fan just going in, like, it's a hassle sometimes. So
I mean, my way, even as a vendor, to get up to the the dock to unpack was like an hour and a half. Like, and this was at 7 in the morning. Like, I'm sitting outside, we not moving. People trying to budge and cut in line, people getting into arguments. Like, it was crazy.
Man, the vendors,
because then you're probably thinking like somebody may be trying to jack or something like that while you waiting in line, or you got this merchandise, you can't head on the swivel like you think. Like,
some people got some heat too. It ain't no like, now
they do.
I mean, some people got $1,000 worth of shoes with them. Like, they might have it covered and everything and secure, but
some people got one pair of shoes that's $3,500.
Exactly.
Like, I've seen a couple pair. I've seen a couple pair of the Travis Scott's there. I saw a couple pairs of the top of the line Dunks, the ones that are made like 200 pairs. I'm like, those, they got some money in there. And
Yeah, because
I said one of them had like a case. They were behind a case, and I was like, yeah, they need to be behind the case. They can't be on the table. I wouldn't leave them there.
yeah, ain't no way. It's crazy because even if you like selling, like all the shoes is on the table, and I don't know Dennis, you was ever been to StickCon either, but they have all these shoes on this display tables and everything like that, and everybody picking up these shoes, and I'm like, I don't care if that shoe. Yeah, I was like, I don't care if it's like $1.
Yeah,
$10,000.
it's like
I
unless
can't
I'm
have
gonna
100
buy
people
it,
touching the shoe. Exactly, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could get it dirty, and then you're not gonna buy it. Like it's like you messing
Yeah.
up for my next potential sale. Like
Exactly.
be like a kid there with like some like sticky ass hands or something. Now they done touched on these shoes, got honey bun juice on it.
But they got,
yeah,
they got kids messing around. They just gliding their hand on the whole
just
table.
touching. And that's why a lot of sneaker resellers I've seen throughout these events, they put the you know that wrap that you put like a blow dryer in it, shrink wrap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they shrink wrap the shoes for that exact reason. And I'm like,
Nah,
that's
that makes
smart. Why
sense.
doesn't everybody do that? And at
Yeah.
least
You know
the
what?
shoe that you're gonna put on display too, because it's not like they put the whole pair up there. They put one shoe. So it's like
Right, so
shrink
you
wrap
only
one
put
shoe.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
also
'cause
did that.
a lot of sneaker stores do that nowadays. They'll have them
Yeah.
on display with the shrink wrap on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of debating because if you do one shoe, that's fine. Because sometimes people go up and they want to see like feel how like if it's real or not. They want to feel the material and the textures of
Yeah.
it. If they actually going through it. But if they don't only doing one, then hey man, I'm a serious buyer. Let me look at the other one, and then you can do that little field test if
Yeah.
needed.
See.
But
Yeah.
for people that's just browsing, yeah, saran wrap. But like you don't.
Saran wrap.
This is 2,500. You're not about to buy, so just go ahead and
Right. You
Right.
just want to look, so just look.
Show me
take
a
a little
stack
picture and keep
first.
it going.
Yeah, show me a stack and then I'll,
You gotta
Exactly.
put down a down payment to touch the real shoe.
yeah. Let me hold your debit card.
Exactly,
Man.
bro.
It's
So-
insurance.
Okay, so we
Okay,
talked
so-
about sneakers and everything. You have any other passions? I think I saw you did a little bit of music as well.
Yeah.
When
So
I say a little bit, because people get a little iffy. We say a little, so let me.
Oh, yeah,
You
you
do
look.
music. You do music and the other things.
Yeah.
Any other passions you want to touch on?
So my first love was basketball and football. I was the only girl on the football team, wide receiver, and cornerback position. And I played when I was younger. I played quarterback because I played softball too, so I had an arm. None of the boys on the team could throw like me, so they put me as QB1. So I was like, okay. But I did track in my off seasons, and I ended with just basketball because originally my plan was, I was gonna go to college and hoop, but I kind of had lost my passion for basketball because of like coaching, and I had a coach that cared about me as a person and a player, and then I had a coach that just with him it's kind of difficult to explain without like getting into the whole thing, but it's like he don't care about you as a person. And there's a difference. And because of, the brand, my brand is all about, my story, some of the traumas and stuff that I've went through. I have a lot of triggers, and he wasn't one to understand or even listen to the other coach that knows that cared to know more about me and how to make sure I'm operating at my fullest potential. He didn't care to learn those things to get the best out of me. There's a real thin line between, breaking me down or trying to tell me something really stern. And it's like for me that tone, when there's a certain tone that once you hit, I shut down. And he never got to understand that. And even when I tried to talk to him about it, he was just like, coaches are going to yell at you. It's not the fact that you're yelling at me. It's just, you got to talk to me different. And I understand you're going to yell at me. You're going to yell at the team. When you're yelling at the team, it's no problem. But it's when you're looking at me directly and you start yelling, raising your voice. And I'm not talking about because the gym's loud. I'm talking about you're just screaming at me. Like, that it just makes me shut down mentally. And at that age, it wasn't something that I had necessarily conquered yet or started working to, get through. But it just ended up making my love for the game go away. And then eventually I, founded the brand, was doing my music. My music was my first outlet for you know, my mental health, my depression, things I was struggling with. And then that's when the brand came about. So really, as far as passion, anything to kind of be creative, I'm I'm passionate about. Like, I even do photography, I do videography, I make logos, flyers. I just like being creative. I feel like that's like a real big release for me. And then the gym, always, it's not really a specific sport. Like, I'll go out there and play anything, but working out is something that has become a passion for me because I see how much better of a person it makes me.
Right.
Yeah.
Fully feel that. I mean, as the gym owner, all that, you know, get that with the gym. It's funny, you know, when you talk about like losing a passion, like I think I was talking to Zach Brown when I was talking to him about that. And we maybe have talked about it before, but a lot of times it is the coaches. It is the coaches that will like strip that away. Cause when you first a little kid and you're picking up that basketball and you're playing in the front yard or going to the park, it's that natural thing where you just want to be doing this. I just want to dribble the ball, this and that. And then you have coaches that can properly mold you or they can break you down and all that.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's kind of like some of the things that happened. Shoot, when I was playing at Sunrise, and I was like, man, no matter what I do, I'm just still not good enough. Like, I'm knocking down 7-footers, this and that, and it's not still not good enough. Like, and it made me go when I switched schools again, my senior year, I was sitting here like, I'm not going through that again. I can't, new
Yeah.
coach and all that. Like, I'll just go to work. I'll just go to work and draw on my free time or whatever. Like, you know, so, but yeah, no, I get that. Could you, I mean, if you, I don't know if you want to get into it yet, or we can save it if you want to, but your story kind of behind Broken Baby.
So, yeah, I'm cool with getting into that and everything. So basically, Broken Baby is a term that I had made up. Just one day, I'm in class. I took a they call it a BACC course. It's basically like a pre-college course in high school, and it's for graphic design and video production. And we had to make like a logo and make our own T-shirt, and it was a project. So I'm like, dang, what can I make? Like, what matters to me? Like, what actually means something to me? And I was thinking. I'm like, broken. Okay, I'm sure there's something out there with called broken. What does that mean? And I'm just thinking about my music, listening to my lyrics, and things like that. And I came up with Broken Baby, and I was like, that's it. And it had meaning to me, but I didn't know how to express it at first. But really, it's just a combination of, trials and tribulations in life, struggles with mental health, no matter what kind, childhood trauma, childhood abuse. Those are all things that I've experienced. So being a broken baby is not 100% about, being broken as a child, but we're all broken babies as a whole. So some of the things that I went through as a child, I was verbally and mentally abused. I saw, a lot of violence verbally as well. Me and my mom struggled a lot growing up. Depression is something that I didn't know too much about. I was a daddy's girl until he moved away when I was about 9. So he was real like militant on me. And, I'm doing push-ups and sit-ups before bed. I'm being, taught the things that my dad knows, about being strong, don't cry. You can't really talk about your feelings because who's going to do anything about it but you, keeping those things in are what make you strong. So over the years, it's like, I always compare it to like if you have like a bottle of Sprite, you take it, you shake it, and keep bottling stuff up, pouring more Sprite in it, you throw that lid on there because it's about to spill, but things start to shake you. And then once somebody tries to peel that cap off, it goes everywhere. And that's kind of how it is. So I bottled up so much stuff over the years and so many emotions that weren't processed because I just act like they're not there. I got to my peak, and that's when I attempted to take my life. And that was 2016, and that was that was kind of like, it wasn't the end of the story, but like the story continued, but that was the end of an era for me because my mom had found out I was also self-harming around that same time. I had made a promise to her that, I would stop, and I got a tattoo to cover up all my scars. And that's actually when I started music. And got real good opportunities with it. I found out it was something I was good at. I'm performing with Snoop Dogg. I oddly off of my music got the opportunity to be a part of the cast of Fox's show Empire. And then the brand came about.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
man, name dropping. But yeah.
Yeah, you hit us with those. I was like, man, what?
Yeah, so
man.
it's just about telling my story. And it's like I made the behind the brand video for my 21st birthday release. And ever since then, that was the first time I've actually told even that portion of the story. And it was like from there, it's like hearing people's reactions to it, seeing them saying that it's helped them, that, it's inspiring, that somebody said, I'm a voice for a lot of them. It's encouraging. It's like that, it makes my fear of telling my story, being somewhat vulnerable and things like that, it makes that go away. It's like this matters. I have to do this. Like, especially when it's like you got a second chance at life. A lot of people didn't, especially when I've lost, 4 or 5 people to suicide. It's like this is your obligation. You got to do this now. You're here still for a reason. You were brought back for a reason. This is your purpose. So this brand is I always say it's not only a brand, it's a movement.
All right. Ooh. Okay. No, yeah, that's definitely something we need to hear. I mean, because it's Jamal semi warned me this week about how like talking about this. He knows I've been going through therapy and all that, and how tough it's been.
And I commend you for that. I commend you for that.
Because one thing in our community, it's like you said, we taught to be tough. To hold it in, man, what you crying for, all that. And or even like if your friends normally come to you or whatever, or finally decide, you don't even know what to say because we're not even used to even talking to each other about that. So you used to go, I'm not going to tell so and so about this because he's gonna think I'm weak or whatever. Like, and so now learning that it's okay to speak your truth, tell your stories, because you're getting it off your chest, so it can help you.
And
but
that
also
helps it.
It helps them. Like, oh shoot, it's okay for us to talk about this. It's okay for us to be vulnerable with each other. Like,
yeah. And like for me, it's a lot easier for me to be. It's more easier to talk about my feelings and emotion with a lot of my guy friends because it's just like I get it from my dad, and it's like I've never been one to talk about my mom with things, period. But I find a lot of comfort. I find a lot more comfort confiding in my guy friends as they feel comfort confiding in me because it's like we understand that same thing. And with not only with telling my story, have I gotten more comfortable with telling it. I've learned more how to communicate my feelings because it's still hard. It's still, it's a learning process for sure. And but it's hard. It's like sometimes what you're feeling in your head, but you can't find the words. And it's like, how do I even express how I'm even feeling right now? And it's the weirdest thing to say. It's like, how do you have it in your head, but you don't know how to say it? I don't know. It's just something that I'm not used to. It's something that, it's 2023. I probably started more trying to talk to someone at least in the last 2 years. So it's like, it's not perfect, but it's better than what it's been since I was a kid. So like I'm a lot more comfortable asking for help. And that's a big part of the stigma. A lot of people are afraid to ask for help because of judgment. With a lot of my guy friends, the manly codes, it's like, dude, it don't make you no less of a man. Like I promise you, if you feel like you can't talk to nobody, talk to me. I'm not gonna look at you no different. You're not less of a man. I tell my father that, tell my brother that. Like, I don't care about none of that, none of the codes, you guys got. At the end of the day, we're all human. Men have emotions,
Right.
women have emotions, children have emotions. And like I said in my video when I did my mural for suicide and mental health awareness, men, women, and children are all a part of the 1 in 4, meaning the 1 in 4, 1 of every 4 people are going to deal with a mental health struggle in their life. There's no category, there's no gender secluded, no age group secluded from that. So nobody's a robot and nobody should be expected to be one. We all have, hearts, minds, souls. It's like we all are going to struggle. Even if you're the strongest person in the world, you're going to struggle, whether or not you want to accept it and I want to say admit it, or you want to try and hold it in. Each way has its own turnout. And if you keep choosing the holding it in, where you're going to eventually end up. And even at the lightest case, I feel like it's just being a real having a lot of anger. Because that was like my first stage was just a lot of anger.
Because that's the one way we're taught that one's still the strong emotion to have. Like, yes, if you're angry, that's still tough. That's still, so even when you're sad or you're depressed or whatever version, you're angry about something, that's okay to show. So that's why a lot of those kids that are going through things at home when they're in elementary school, that kid with anger problems that we kind of write off or whatever, we don't know, he's probably going through something really bad.
Yeah.
But
and I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah, and it's sure. I mean, and you mentioned like Chicago up around that area, how crazy that is, or the way it is here, everywhere. But so that's definitely
a lot of
thing that I think
kids
we are evolving to.
Yeah, and a lot of youth that have behavioral issues or they're considered bad kids. They're not bad. They don't really have behavioral issues. They have emotions that they don't know how to process or even let out. And it's like you don't know what they're going through at home. If they're coming to school and all you're doing is, telling them because they're bad, they're not going to be this, or you're just, I don't want to deal with them. You could be the one person that changes their life around. Sometimes these kids just need somebody to listen. Like,
for sure.
If a kid can tell that you're somebody, I was a kid that just needed somebody to listen. And there was people I didn't want it to be, like my mom, because my mom was a single mom. I never wanted her to know when I was hurting. But I was just a kid. On her. Yeah, and I didn't want to put that on her at all. And it's like there's a lot of kids that just need somebody to listen and one person to believe in them. That's all they need.
Yeah, and I think like even with like some of our circles, I was like, it's really right now, especially we young adults and everything. It's really we have to focus on our tight knit circle that uplifts, and we all growing together. I think that's a big thing as well. I mean, like at least in my friend group, mom might be looked at as a strong friend, and even as my mom is a therapist, so I kind of know what training she has to go through and everything. And I tell them like, even though we go through things and we can talk to each other in the friend group, sometimes like Dennis is going through, seeing a therapist is also something that they may give you something that I can't give you. They are trained and to speak with you and to discuss different things in a different way. Because yes, I might look at it from this outlook and I might give you some sound advice that we all agree will be, something good. But, a trained professional might be like, no, in this person's time, they need to do something else or, take a different route. So, and that's why I had to get away from, because I'm like, yeah, a lot of friends come to me with advice, even if it's mental health or even like, hey, what should I do with this? I'm like, yes, I might be able to give you some good advice, but I will also tell people, look at other sources as well. Like, don't just take my one source and say, hey, Jamal said this, so I'm going to take this route. Listen to other people that you value their opinion. And then also, if you're really struggling, like, take that time. Hopefully you are able to, find somebody like a nice therapist or somebody that can really help you. And that's also the thing, at least what my mom was telling me, was like, sometimes with clients and therapists, it's not a one-to-one. Like, you can't just go to a therapist sometimes and say, hey, this is the right one. Sometimes it's some iteration that have to go through. And I think that's the part that really sometimes scare people. I know that, I mean, that's with anything. Like,
It's
Even when
also
you
a
go to
trial and
doctor,
error, even with that
yeah,
therapist.
It is.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like even when you go to a doctor, it's like, hey, this doctor say just take a little aspirin, you be done. The next doctor is like, man, you should be coming in for surgery. So it's like, you got to get
Right.
different opinions sometimes. So
Yeah.
um,
And a lot of times, like, back to when you were talking about, you can talk to some people, about one thing, but sometimes you need to go to a trained professional. It's like a lot of people come to me for advice based off of the fact that they know I've been through a lot. And it's like I took psych in high school, and I also read up a lot on it because it's something that helps me with myself. And
Right.
it's not that I'm a trained professional whatsoever, but to a degree, to you have to talk to somebody, get somebody comfortable talking first before telling them to go to therapy. Because a lot of people, it's offensive. It used to be offensive to me. They'd be like, "You need
Right.
therapy," and I'd be offended. Like it's over with.
right,
I'm not
And I
crazy.
can,
Whatever.
yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, and that was my biggest thing. Like, I'm not crazy. I don't need a therapist, but therapy helps so much. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you can talk to me, that's fine. But there's a lot of things that a therapist can tell you that I don't even know about. I can tell
Right.
you and you got to be careful who you talk to too. I try my best always to give, like a therapist would, unbiased opinion and speak for your best interest, not from
Right.
my own feelings or based on my relationship with you. Like, when I have friends, like real close friends, that'll talk to me, da 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 da, did I do this? I'll be like, no, you were wrong. Just so you know, like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because you're my friend. Like, you was wrong. This is what you could have done different.
Right.
Or and some people, they'll be like, I'm going through this, da 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 da, and they'll hand you a bottle of liquor. That's not a friend to talk to.
Right.
There's a
Drink with me
friend
or
that you'll
something.
be
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm going through this. Okay, let's go for a walk and let's talk about it. There's two different types of people, and you can't talk to one, because one is going to lead you down the right path to
right,
healing, and one's going to lead you down the other path to basically just holding yourself to that same spot where you was hurt at. Because that's what I realized with myself. Bottling all those things up from a child affected my adulthood for a while. And I mean, I'm only 23 and I'm still working through stuff, but it's like a lot of things held me to the 5, 6, 7, 8 year old Nashaya. That's like, that's hindering me at 21, 22, 23. It's holding me to that person when I was hurt. I'm still
Right.
dealing with these emotions from 2006, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we need to handle this. And
Mm-hmm.
like I've said before, when it comes to, you know, processing your traumas and triggers, it's not like you get a list of traumas and triggers. Oh, these are your traumas and triggers. No, you go through life and you figure out, okay, this is something that triggers this. Okay, what can we do different in this situation so it doesn't trigger me to act like this? How can I handle it better?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a way to start conquering things like that. But
Or
when it
even how
comes
do
to
I better handle when I'm triggered? How do I make
yeah,
sure I'm
yeah,
a
yeah,
little bit
yeah,
cooler with that?
yeah, that
Life
for
on life.
sure. Yeah, for sure, definitely. And that's the thing that transitioning from high school to adulthood, that's where a lot of this age group is getting hit at too, because it's like
Mm-hmm.
they're all figuring out, oh, life does not work the way I thought it was. This is yeah, this not high school no more. This is real life. And whether you go to college and you start dealing with it in college, or you don't go to college, you start dealing with it after high school for some reason. Even if you
Oh yeah.
continue
yep,
schooling, it's like life is not what you thought it was. It's not. It's hard, and I feel
Yeah.
like for a lot of people that more had a more stable life as a child, think that it's going to be just like that in the gate for them, going from childhood to
Mm.
adulthood. And it's like, no, you got to build that, and that's okay. You're not supposed to be 21 with the White House, picket fingers, a dog, and a family.
Right.
Like, it's okay. Take one day at a time. And a lot of people need to be told things like that. But I feel like that's the age group that, again, is like most important. It's like, okay, you need to know when you need to talk to somebody. It's okay to talk to
Right.
somebody. You're not failing. You're 18, 19, 20. It's okay.
yeah.
Man.
That's the biggest thing I saw when I went to college was that at freshman year, it's so many kids that have everything planned out. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna graduate here. I'm gonna work here. I'm gonna have the girlfriend I have now. We could be married here. We gonna
Don't
live
nothing
here.
go as
And I'm
planned.
like, bro, you haven't even gone to the second class for the 4 years. How you think like? And I just kind of keep it like realistic without also not breaking anybody's dreams. That's the hardest part
Yeah,
with having conversations
yeah.
with
Yeah,
people. It's
sure.
like, bro, I'm like, yes, I'm all for it as like setting goals and try to meet those goals. Like whatever you have for yourself in these duration that's realistic, set for those goals. But at the same time, let's sit down and break stuff down. Like, hey, bro, like you trying to get an A in this one class. Let's keep that first before you even talking about, wife and kid and a
Hmm.
job and graduation and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Right.
let's just take a step
I'm like,
back.
for the goals that you had, for the big goals, I feel like you have to also think about the steps it takes to get there, not just the goal. Because if I, say I want to make $1 million, that's my goal, but I'm not planning, okay, how am I going to make my first 100, my first 1,000, my first 10,000, 100,000, 150,000. You're gonna think you're failing all the time, and it's gonna discourage you.
Right.
But it's like
Oh, yeah.
that's my realistic approach to it, because like you said, it's hard, talking about people's goals and stuff and not discouraging them versus being realistic. And I feel like that's my
Sure.
most realistic approach. But at the same time, it's like when it comes to goals and dreams, people they want the goal, they want the dream, but when you break it down, okay, how are we gonna make our first? How are we gonna make our second? How are we gonna, the steps
Mhm.
to it? And they see that there's real steps to it. Like, that's a lot of work. Maybe I don't really want this goal. And it's like, if you
Right.
really want it, you're gonna be okay with that.
Nah, and then you start breaking it down, and some people are like, bro, you missing the whole point. You missing the whole point. I ain't gonna talk to you about this. I'm talking to somebody else. You don't believe my vision. I'm like,
Mm.
bro, I'm just trying to break it down. And that's the
I'm like, I
thing. It's
believe in
Right.
your
hard.
vision. We
It's
just making a
hard.
plan.
I said,
Yeah,
we
I'm just
building up
helping you
to it,
out.
baby.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, because I'm like,
So,
okay, I'm a person too that thinks of so many scenarios. Like, okay, I want this event to go like this. However, if I'm not getting enough sales, what am I gonna do to make sure I get them sales? So it's like, I plan for going right, I plan for going left, I plan for, okay, what if this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. It's like, you gotta do that so that
Yeah,
you hit your goal, you get where you want to go.
yep.
for sure. Man, and shoot, and me being, I mean, y'all make me feel kind of old, but like going through all the steps that I've taken, from first day I said I wanted to sell DINO Fit Life shirts and going up from there, I want to get my own gym, and the different failures I faced because I didn't do all the planning at first. I just go, look, man, I'm printing something on a shirt, I'm gonna sell it, I'm gonna get $1,000.
Mhm.
Okay. What about when you got a re-up? Or what about when, I don't know, you gave away a couple shirts to just get, there's a whole lot of things. What about when you have to pay for expenses now? What about while you're in the
Mhm.
middle of that, your car break down? So
Yep.
all these different things that go along with it. And so I've had to so now when I do tell some people, like a kid that's like, yeah, I want to get into customizing shoes or start my own clothing line or whatever their dream is, I say, okay, make sure you do this, this, and this. And I try not to come off as that old dude that's just talking down at a person and come at them as like a person that's like, listen, I haven't been there, and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying plan for this or something like that, because yeah, you guys are already thinking, let's make these steps at this age. Man, when I was 23, I was like, let's just go. We gonna get 100, we gonna get 100,000 next month. No,
Man,
no, I'm
and that's
broke
how it
still.
was too. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. I'm a person, I call myself a crash dummy learner. I just throw myself in and I learn because I learn from failure. Like me, I don't have the fear of failing like that. I'm okay with it because I learned from it. That's just gonna help me. But not everybody has that. People are so scared to fail
Right.
that they hold themselves back from their full potential. It's like, you
You gotta
want to
be
do this,
okay.
you can do it, but you gotta know that
Mm-hmm.
failing is not the worst thing in the world. You learn from it. You just gotta get back
Right.
up. It's good. Brush it off.
Yeah, I'm
Man,
definitely
yeah.
on one of those like right in the middle. Like I ain't jumping first because I like to think of so many options. Like my head, I already got to get tested for like ADHD, son. Because my head be going so many
Hey, I
scenarios,
feel that.
and I be like,
That's
bro, I just
yeah.
take a whole week just thinking about the scenarios. I ain't even start nothing. So I'm like, I'm
Man,
just like in the fence. Like I know I'm like I could take a risk. Cause I know what the repercussions of that could be, and I can bounce back from that. but it just takes some
Yeah.
time so hard to just jump into some things. I'm like, bro, what if I do this? I just investing in this. I just want to buy this. This is coming up, bill coming up here. I'm like, my head just goes.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all seen. Well, I know Dennis seen like the Spider-Man Across the Universe, the multiverse. Like, I feel like I got a whole bunch of Jamals out there just thinking about the same different problem.
Other way.
I'm just trying to. I was like, hey y'all, if y'all can just come together and give me this one solution,
Right.
I can go towards. So it's crazy. I mean, sometimes it takes you just taking a leap of faith, like you said, and
Yeah.
just
Oh,
going
yeah.
with that, man. Like, that's what really comes down to some of these things. That's what actions definitely on the business side of things. Even like sometimes relationship side of things, like, hey man, if you got a gut feeling, just try it out. I think sometimes people are more, inward of themselves, just like myself. Even I just can't dive into. I got to be like, no,
I feel like
can't.
there's a difference between just taking a risk, like no thought
A
put into it at all,
calculated.
versus a
Yeah.
calculated risk.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
Right.
I went from just let's do it to calculated risks, and that's
Yep.
what's helped me.
Exactly.
Like, there's
Going,
just a
hey,
big
I'm gonna just jump.
difference.
I'm gonna just do it. Yeah. But it's
Right,
after
we
you've
just
done a
gonna
little
jump.
bit of planning. Yeah. Like when I quit my
Yeah.
job fixing phones to just start personal training full time, I was like,
hmm
listen, I got 3 clients. Hopefully I get 5. Like hopefully I get 5 and then I get to 10 because right now I'm not paying all my bills. So let's just see,
Yeah.
But but you got to. It's just sometimes taking those jumps. I knew I had to calculate it, certain things like that. Like you said, calculated risk is going. I think I have about. I think I got about 8 out of 10 things I need. Now let me jump,
hmm
or something like that. As opposed to, I'm gonna take all the money in my bank account and just go throw it on one number at the roulette at the casino or something. Like
Yeah.
that's just a dummy risk. But
Uh-huh.
going for your future, and I've always looked at it like this: worst case scenario, I'll just go get a regular job again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
absolute
worst
worst
case
case
scenario,
scenario.
I
Or
fail.
even pick it up part time because I need, a
Yeah,
little bit of money, or DoorDash, or there's so many
man.
things you can do for money
Right.
nowadays. It's like make sure you're doing the work for what you want to do.
Yeah.
Make sure some money's coming in consistently. Drop the full-time, your full-time job to put
Drop
more
down the
focus
part.
on that. And
Yeah.
if you need to fall back on something, you have options. Make sure you leave that job on a good note because you might be able to come back part-time. That, hey, when I need
Man.
some hours, can I pick them up? I won't be full-time, but when I need some hours, can I pick them up real quick? Like, they might be cool with
Man.
that.
Some of my friends know not to ask me about like, yo, man, I got this idea, man, but my job, should I quit? They know not to ask me that because I tell them, quit. Go ahead, start your business, man. Go live your dream, bro.
Hey, I
love
got my
seeing.
plan in the works. I got my
Yeah,
plan in the
I said
works.
it. Man, I say, man, long live the hustlers, man. Like, go get
See,
it.
I think it's different because I was like, because y'all are like right now business owners and stuff like that, have your own brands and stuff like that. I'm over here like, hey, just hang on real quick with your job, just in case get the
No,
setup
for
on the
sure.
next.
Right now,
See, that's
yeah.
how I was. That's
Get the
how.
thing set up first and then quit. Don't just don't
Yeah.
quit. That's all I'm
Well, because
saying.
think
But
about the
sometimes,
podcast. How we start.
right?
We didn't have all the whole thing. We just like, yo, man, I'm gonna go get a camera. I'm gonna get a little mic. Let's just get started, bro. I got Zoom. I'll buy the extra thing so we can Zoom longer. Oh,
Right, because
I already
Yeah.
got the computer.
we
Like
had this
started.
conversation over the phone, man, before we even started, because we was like, one of the reasons we started because we was talking. I mean, all these podcasts is popping up. We've been talking about NBA back and forth all the time. So it's like, man, we just do the same conversation we having, just do it in front of the camera. And I was still over here like, but what about the lights? All these people got these mics and all these
Yeah,
fancy
see,
equipment.
and that's how I am too,
And I
because
think
I'm a
it's good.
person. It's a person. If I can't do it to my best potential, I don't want to do it. So it comes at that for me is like one of my biggest flaws. Yet sometimes it's like my greatest strength. It's like I don't like to settle when I know I can do it way better. But
Right.
when you starting something, you gotta think. You can do bigger, but you gotta spend less on the front end. You want to spend less on the front end if you can.
Just know it can get better later.
Yeah, it can get better later. It's gonna show your growth. You don't have to come in the gate with a $10,000 a month studio with gold throne looking chairs and looking like a radio station. You don't got to do all that. It's okay.
True.
You use Zoom. Use Zoom.
My first shirts was kind of trash. It's very basic, but he there's no option. All right, let's go. And then I started getting better fabrics, started getting hoodies and stuff like. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know. Your first shirts,
Yeah.
your first stuff was just let me get a Gildan. Let me get a Gildan, get it out. You know.
And that was one of the things. That's why I'm like, that's why I keep a good circle around me, because I know how I am. So I'm like, I got Dennis, I got Judah, I got other people in my life that's like, hey man, bro, you think you overthinking this, you overthinking that. That I truly trust their opinion, value their opinion, because like it might be sometimes where I am overthinking something, I'm just not gonna be able to take that leap myself. But I might have some people in my circle, or my family and friends can be able to be like, hey man, this might be something that you want to take this opportunity, something you want to jump on, because you might miss it. I mean,
Yeah,
you miss that wave. Hey,
and see the reason I like you, because you feel me when you were saying how like you'll basically think yourself almost out of it, or think yourself out of starting.
Yeah,
like you'll think so much. Okay, this. Okay, we haven't even started yet. We haven't done nothing. We done all this thing. We done did it. We done did $1 billion worth of thinking and ain't made a move. Like,
exactly.
That's how I be.
So
I'm like, I gotta start taking action.
Exactly.
When my girl, well now wife, but it was like 2016, and I'm sitting here like, man, yo, so the DINO fish shirts, they should have this, they should have it. And at first she's like, oh, that'd be cool. So one day we in the car, and I'm like, man, I was thinking, what if I did like multiple colors? What if I did? And she's just like, she was kind of looking like, she was kind of like annoyed a little bit. And I was like, I almost got offended. I was like, why you like, okay, forget it then. I ain't gonna talk to you about nothing then, whatever. She's like, no, what I'm saying is like, you always talking about it, but you ain't did nothing towards it. I was like, okay. Like it just humbled me. First, I was like, okay, you right. Let me go talk to the man. Let me go see who I can get the screen print or whatever. Let me find something else. Because I had that mindset like, well, I want it to be perfect. I want to find the right fabric. Get the fabric later. Just get something out to where you can say you can check it off. I did it. Because at first I was like that.
And see, when it comes to the shirts, I started out with what I knew, which I knew how to screen print, but I didn't want to spend all the money on the screen print and all that stuff you need. So I started out with the vinyl. The vinyl, the reason that I know I knew I was going to take this serious was when I was like, I need better quality. Vinyl is good. And I was making everything myself. But I feel like I've bought all the vinyls I think I could try and buy, and I feel like there's not a quality of vinyl that lasts a lot of washes. They be peeling off, crinkling, and all that other stuff. So it's like we need to elevate real quick. So then I got in touch with a screen printer, and I'm like, can we do these shirts? And it wasn't actually expensive at all. Like, I'm like, I give y'all this, y'all do the work, ship it. Cool, let's do that. Let's stick with that. Right. And it's like, okay, I don't want to just do t-shirts no more or just hoodies no more. It's like, I want to customize my whole clothing. So I get to drawing and I reach out to these manufacturers and I'm like, oh, I can do this too. Like, it's like different levels. It's okay to start way down here. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, starting where I started versus where I'm at now just shows it's okay to start out with $20. You don't have to start out with tracksuits. You don't have to put that pressure on it, because the thing is, when you're starting a brand, you're starting a business, you don't want to put out $5,000 and not be able to push that product at all. That's the worst thing in the world. Yeah,
not enough people is messing with you at the time.
Yeah. And it's like you want to start out with. I mean, it just depends on who you are, what kind of crowd and support base you have. But it's like, especially when it comes to sizes, clothing. Oh my gosh, finding your size demand. It's like I would hate to spend $5,000, get way more smalls, and I need all larges. It's like you don't want to. You want to find all that stuff in the front end. So it's like I'm kind of glad I started out of school. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of 3Xs. Who's size 3XL? Man,
I'm saying.
Everybody was like, yeah, everybody was like, you need to start dropping 3X. You need a 3X. I dropped some 3Xs. I didn't get too many, but I probably got like under 10 just cause. Man, I still got like 5 3Xs. I got packs. I was doing packs like a week ago. I'm like, who is a 3X? Like,
hey, you gotta
nobody besides 3X.
Special order.
People eating good. People eating good down here. You got to, mark it down in the South, because Texas, Georgia, hey, big boys
up here. Yeah, we got some threes. Yeah.
Well, okay,
That's
with
real.
your brand, like, how did you design all your apparel, the graphic design, like the logos and
So
everything?
yeah, I do. I would say I do about 90%. Most like I did this. I mocked it all up and everything, but I started outsourcing some designs more when it comes to designs that are graphically more graphic rather than silhouette based, if you know what I mean. Like have a lot of
Yeah.
that look realistic
Mhm.
versus illustrated, because I in my class that I took in high school, I was on Illustrator. We did some Photoshop, but I'm more with the Illustrator side. I'm not with the realistic side. So when I needed a design that had like diamonds on it and I wanted to look like real diamonds coming out of, whatever, it had to look, I had to outsource that. Somebody who could do more realistic looking things. So most things I
Okay.
do on my own, but I've touched base with some graphic designers too.
Okay, because that was the one that drew me. I was like, I like the Broken Baby. I think you
Mm-hmm.
got the suede hat on because I got that gray suede.
Yeah, yeah.
Bruh, I was like, when I
Got
took that, I
this.
was like, yeah, I was definitely rocking with the suede. Suede is one of my favorite materials anyway.
Okay. That was hard.
Yeah, I just
Mm.
sold out of these.
Hold on, did I get the maroon? Oh man, now I'm looking because that's my
No,
color right
hold
there.
on.
Hold on now.
That one's not out yet. That one's not out
Ah,
yet. We
okay.
working on
I was
that.
about to
I
say I
actually
ain't
just
see
got
that. I ain't see that one at the convention now.
Oh yeah.
so those are the V2 truckers. So
Okay.
the difference between these and those, they have a little bit of a tweak to their design, but they feature our new slogan that just got submitted for trademark about 2 days ago. I'm waiting on the confirmation. Once it's submitted and I can start using TM, I'm gonna drop a bunch of stuff that has our new slogan on it, because it's dope. I had to have it protected before I said it. I don't want nobody to steal it.
That's
Gotcha.
real.
Gotcha.
That's real.
Yeah.
Okay. Man. Okay.
Man, I'm about
Uh
to. Yeah, go ahead and let me know when that one drop though. I'm gonna have to.
I got
Maroon
you.
my
yeah.
favorite color, so I gotta.
I got every color coming.
Audio
Every color.
audio listeners, y'all might want to go to the YouTube for this one because yeah,
Yes,
I
you
just
gotta
saw
see the
we just
visual.
saw some
A
fire.
sneak peek. We
Yeah,
saw a sneak peek.
yeah. Yeah, switching gears. I mean, if we could talk a little NBA talk, a little bit. I mean, so
Okay.
okay, so before we get started for real, Naay, what's your favorite team?
So within the last couple of years, me and my brother were just talking about this. Within the last couple of years, the game of basketball, not even just a couple of years, like decade, the game of basketball has just
Oh, for
changed. It's
sure.
become less team involved, more one-on-one basketball. So kind of a favorite team. I mean, I always go with home with the Bulls. That's home. So I always gotta say, Bulls is one of them.
For
But
sure.
if I had to choose another team, see, I don't know. Even that one's more so player based. Like if I say like Memphis, I like Memphis, but Ja, he's like
Yeah.
new age
Yeah.
Iverson. It's like
Mm.
then I go to I do like Phoenix. I haven't caught a full game, but with their trades that they were making, I was like, I kind of want to see how that works out. So I
Okay.
don't know. I think after I watch a couple games of who I think I'll like together, I'll be like, okay, this is my team for the year. But I
For
haven't
the
caught a full
year.
game yet. Yeah, it's for the year. They make too many trades now. They don't
I
keep
get it. I
nobody.
get it.
Mm.
Yeah. I feel that. I think that like if I was talking to some people about that, like if I was like way younger, I think that I would just be like a player, go with this person. But like, a to your point, my favorite team is the Lakers because shoot, I was born in '91. My and my first time actually paying attention to a basketball game, I remember it was like the Lakers versus the Kings, and I remember seeing Kobe going crazy. I think I
Oh
was like 8.
yeah.
And so this is still Afro Kobe 8,
Uh-huh.
going crazy. So I'm like, who is that dude right there? Like, who is that dude with the nappy fro, dark skinned dude? He looked like me. Like, and so I've always been a Lakers fan since then. And he happened to stay with the Lakers the whole time. So who
Yeah.
if he would have got traded or whatever, who knows what team I would have been, I'd have been shouting out. But and because of that, I feel like I've been a Lakers fan for since I was 8 and I'm 32 now. Like
That's kind of how I am with the Bulls
I'm
too.
here now.
It's like
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like that, but then it's like I still got players that I love watching now. Like I like watching Anthony
I
Edwards.
love watching him play.
Bro.
Big Dame Dollar, that big Dame Dollar fan. It's still a
You
sore
ain't gotta
subject
miss
for
no
you.
more
I know.
Dame.
I know. So
Yeah. I'm a Miami fan, so that's why I was like, I don't want to hear nothing about Dame right now. We should have had him on our team, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But it's a similar story with you, bro. Like the first time I turned on the TV, I saw Wade play. They actually just won the championship, his first championship. So I was a bandwagon fan initially. Cause I was like, man, this is a team that just won. Like, who else like? LeBron ain't won nothing. I don't care who playing. Wade just won, so I rock it with him. And since everybody left, I'm still there. So I think it's gonna be ride or die for sure for me, man. If I was to get a tattoo, I ain't got no tattoos, but if it was, might be Miami inspired.
That Miami.
No, I feel it, man. So, yeah, I mean, and I am excited, especially now watching a little bit of the preseason. I haven't watched the full game yet, but seeing how Bradley Beal has been hooping on the Suns, and he's the third option. That's crazy. Like I think the rest of the league is in trouble.
When the playoffs come, I think they're gonna have a tough time defending. Like Phoenix about to have a great regular season. The city about to be lit the whole time. Y'all get to that playoff, I feel like you're gonna hit a wall with that when the defense have to rev up, and y'all's like, dang, Nurkic, y'all big, he can't guard nobody. I saw him play the Lakers. Anthony Davis was giving him the business, bro. I was like, bro, it ain't. I mean, okay, AD ain't no slouch, so I ain't gonna say like AD gave you the business.
Right.
Like, he's still one of the top premier centers, but I'm like a big man, but I'm like, it's things like that. But I feel like they plan is gonna be like, hey, I'm about to drop 200 on y'all. I'm gonna outscore everybody. I don't care. I'm gonna take if it take 200. That's what we gonna put up because it's gonna be it's gonna be games with
AD, Book, and Bradley. Yeah, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get out of hand.
They got some. I feel like they got some. I don't know. I was seeing Wemby just stand there and drop the ball in the hoop. It felt like, and I'm just like,
he was dunking where you wasn't supposed to dunk. Like
right
back there, like off a drop step. How you drop that from the middle of the paint? Still get the dunk off is crazy.
But he called for alleys at the 3-point line. I don't know if y'all saw that.
So,
I'm like, bro, the 3-point line?
Right.
Took one step in and just jumped up.
Crazy.
It's like one step in and just glide. Yeah, no, it's
I think it's gonna be hard to keep him injury free because I feel like once he's
so skinny, his knees and ankles. That's what I said.
Once he get in the air, I think a lot of people is gonna be like, it's not gonna be on purpose. It's just that with the height difference, like they really gonna clip him a lot just trying to get up there with him. And I'm like, I think it's gonna be a dangerous thing. That's why I see when he dunk, he doesn't dunk. He does. Well, I don't know if he needs to, but he don't jump as high. He don't need to, but
he don't even.
He's already there.
Yeah, but he be like tiptoeing the dunks. Yeah. I be like, bro, you can give a little bit more, but he like, well,
he's probably saving them knees. Yeah,
that's true too. He lands softly and everything. I mean, dribble, man. He already. Okay, I'm putting it out there on the pod officially. I think he's gonna be our next generation. Like this generation's GOAT is Wemby. Healthy, I see nothing else. Like he gonna have
that younger
numbers.
Kid. Yeah,
he gonna have the offensive numbers, bro. Like this gonna be the ones where I think Ant and him and who else want to put in that bucket?
I think John. If he turns it around, I think off the court wise, he's got a project. He's got a great projection, like
I think
because he's still real young too.
Right, you can chalk that up to young and dumb innocence. Yeah,
I think it's one of those. Is if they get one more incident, I think like the league,
it's over with for him.
Whether he like stay in the league and just play like the publicity and everything that the spotlight that kind of magnifies somebody's being like always on TV, sponsored games and everything like that. Sponsored, but televised games. Like I feel like that's gonna decrease if he gets in more trouble and they still can allow him to play because he's not like locked up or anything like that. So, but yeah,
because they got him on like half the season right now, right? Like
it's like 25 games. That's
25 games.
A lot, but
crazy.
It is a lot, but it's still enough for him to like still show.
I mean, that was his second time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's
so you better not do nothing.
Nothing. Just play ball and go home.
Yeah. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Just do the Marshawn and go
It's
home.
that phone,
Right.
bro. It's the phone, man. Even like the social media stuff. Like even if he at home, like he can't pick up the phone and go live and do stuff too. That's the thing too. Like now people get in trouble
Yeah.
just by just picking up the phone. It's not even going out and being in the wrong places. Yeah, some of that, but a lot of it is just like, hey man, look at me, what I got, what I'm going
Man,
on.
I mean, and
Put it
that
out
does
to the
make
web.
sense, but I think like I heard like Lotto say something about this on like Joe Budden podcast because he was asking about that, like why y'all feel the need to do all that. You know, he's like 40 something, and Lotto's like what, I don't know, 25 or something. But he was talking about how like their generation was just phone always in the hand. So like it's
That's
easy
how
for
it
us.
is.
It's easy for us to say, yeah, man, leave your phone, blah blah blah. But for them, it's always a part of them. They used to go on live when he was a nobody, when he had 4 people in his lives. So it's a regular thing, but he's not. It's hard for him to go, oh wait, I'm extra famous now. So
Yeah, like
now
you're
every
a
time I go live,
like kids look up to you. Like you're a
yeah,
public figure. You're a
it's kind of
professional
like
athlete.
when you talk about going from high school to being grown. One of the things I think the hardest thing is that switch. There is no switch.
From
Like they talk about from I'm a kid to I'm grown. Only different thing that changes is I was 17, now I'm 18. Right? Like that's what they say,
yeah,
you grown now, but there's no actual mental switch that goes, okay, grown, do grown man things, wear a suit or whatever,
yeah,
you know. So now he's going from that. I'm 19, 20 years old, and I'm still doing the same thing, but I'm hooping. The same thing I've been doing, and I'm still talking, listening to the same music. It's hard to just tell him, hey man, put that phone down, man. Don't do that.
yeah.
It's a
I feel
part
like
of me.
there's
It's
an
my whole
adjustment.
personality.
It's an adjustment. Like he was not only going from the more adolescent to adulthood, but he was also going from maybe being known for basketball to being famous.
Right.
So he had both of them to make that switch with. And, being young, being 21, 22, 23, it's like you want to soak it all in. You don't really think too much about, the differences in your actions. You can't do this, you can't do that because I am a face of NBA. I am a face of Memphis Grizzlies.
But he
A
making
lot
millions
of
of dollars.
children look up to me. Like,
right.
Yeah,
But
he
you
making
don't think
millions of
about
dollars.
that.
How can somebody come and tell him something when I'm like, bro, you haven't seen a million yet, and you trying to tell me how to live my life? Like,
Right.
look what I'm
I
doing.
mean,
Like, it's hard.
Well,
It's hard to
and
come and talk to somebody.
even if you
come
take
correct.
away, and even if you take away the money, most I think I said it before, every single basketball player, like even the number 15 on the bench, like the last dude who barely gets off, before he was that dude in his city. People treated him the way I'm pretty sure y'all all know somebody from y'all town was like that dude. Everybody knew him for hooping or football or whatever. And they kind of even treated him like he was a mini celebrity. So imagine first Matt, you almost can't tell him nothing. And then he goes to college and he becomes the dude at home and then at his college. And now you going all the way to the NBA, you really can't tell me nothing. Now you got him as, well, would have been one of the faces of the NBA and still has a chance to be one of the face of the NBA. You can't tell me nothing. I'm on this video game. I'm in this, like I'm on all these commercials. What are you, random person? What are you, DINO Fit Dennis, gonna tell me about how to be better in the NBA? I can't say nothing to him,
I'm like, hey, I heard you. You good.
Yeah. Until you ain't. Until you ain't.
You good. I'm gonna let you do it.
And the way they paying players nowadays in comparison to back in the day, like, come on, man.
Hey,
they gave Austin Reeves all that money.
I just need a little 10-day contract.
One time.
Right.
Let me
10 day, I show up to practice, do the workouts, sit on the bench. I'm cool.
I'll take the charge in practice for y'all players. Like I'll do what I need to do.
Sure will. Do whatever.
Nice little check at the end of that 10 days. Hey, we need you for another 10 days. I said, nah, I did my 10 day. I'm good. I'm still trying to preserve my body.
I'm all right. I'm glad I didn't get nothing broke. I didn't get ran over too bad. I'm good.
Exactly.
I'm not resigning. I'm retiring.
I'm retiring from a 10-day.
Retiring from a 10-day contract.
Right. Man. All right. I think we talked about everything so far. Anything else you want to bring up before we wrap? We about to have any shout outs, anything that we about to go into those. So
Really just shout out my hometown, Bloomington, Normal, Illinois. That's where I came from. Shout out to Fort Myers, Florida. That was my second home. A real big boom for the business. And of course, shout out Phoenix, Arizona, my mom, my family, all my brothers and sisters from back home. Appreciate everybody's support, everybody who support this brand in any way, shape, or form. Shout out to y'all. You know, it wouldn't be anywhere without you guys.
For sure, man. And number one, shout out to, I'm gonna shout you out since we already talked about it the whole time. Shout out to Broken Baby. Y'all go run up the website. Cop 130 of whatever. Just get 30 things in your cart and hit.
hey, version 2 coming out already.
Version 2.
Man.
I got some heat on the way.
Exactly.
So be ready for that. Man, oh, real quick. I'm trying to, this whole time I was kind of trying to think about who my shout out should be. Let me give a shout out, especially with the kind of theme of the episode, to one of my friends that I've met. He was one of the clients of one of my trainers, Shaun Taylor. He is a therapist here in Wichita, Kansas. Is a Army veteran. So yeah, we talked and joked around about that. But yeah, definitely hit him up for therapy. He works with PTSD, childhood traumas. List goes on. Shaun Taylor. I'll put all his information down in the description. Great guy, younger Black dude. So I know a lot of times in our community, sometimes we like to look at someone that looks like us when we look for therapists, because maybe like, because one thing, like my therapist, she's white, but she somewhat gets me, but there is still sometimes I feel like I'm speaking like a second language. Like I feel like I'm trying to like people who speak Spanish but also speak English, they say like they hear it in English, have to interpret it in Spanish, and then like interpret back in English. I feel like I'm doing that with her, like, because there's even been times where things that I didn't even know were slang or was like a Black colloquialism. I didn't even know. I thought it was just regular. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, like PTSD, you know, you kind of worried about somebody sneaking you or this and that. And she's like, sneaking? I'm like,
yeah,
catching you by surprise, you know. So like with him, you probably don't have to have that, but yeah, man, definitely big shout out to Shaun Taylor. Hit him up.
Yeah, my shout out is gonna be for the person wearing a hat. It's a guy I went to college with, Shaun Bryan. This is his clothing brand and his hat brand, Lyric Cloth. So this one says "Stay Dedicated." So was rocking with him. I mean, when he dropped it, I was like, bro, yeah, let me get that. And then he also threw in like a sweatshirt and everything like that. So just kind of, you know, people that actually know and trying to support people that actually know and stuff like that. That's always a big thing, especially with people that, you know, yeah, we met in college, but you know, we came from two different hometowns and everything, but we still keep that same connection. So I want to shout him out this week. So
okay, for sure. Man, thank you so much for coming on. We've been looking for guests, but also something as powerful and impactful as your story. I felt like I felt a lot. I had to hold myself back a little bit.
No, I appreciate it.
Man, but yeah, and then I heard you mention a little bit about like stocks and stuff like that. So we may have to chat offline so I can, you know, get the inside scoop on how to get that bread with you.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, definitely thank you. Everyone, we forgot to say it at the beginning of the show, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, share with a friend, especially this episode. This episode is definitely feels like a really good one to me.
for sure.
So yeah, thanks for coming on. You're welcome anytime. If you got anything else you want to drop, or if you closer to the drive you want to come back on, or if you just want to talk sports, Black movies, TV shows, we get into all that. I mean, just TV shows in general. I actually got a game. I got it from All Def. I kind of want to do a different spin of it. Black Blasphemy, where it's like I'm black, but I don't like, or you know what I'm saying, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely feel free to come back on anytime. But Whether we chat like bros or I debate you like an enemy, it's all fun and games. Just chat my energy. Just match my energy.
And we go.
We go.
All right,
We know
y'all.
this.
Stay safe.
Thanks again.
Just match my energy. Just match my energy. Yeah.